Hello my fairies and welcome back. For today's video I thought I'd finally answer my probably most asked question, which is how do I edit my pictures? This is specifically for the spring summer outdoor content, so when autumn winter rolls around again I'll probably do a different video for those, but I hope you enjoy this one. If you don't follow me on Instagram, this is what my feed looks like for reference. It's very pastel, very fairy-esque and very cottagecore. So after a whole bunch of DMs and comments over the years asking what filters do you use or do you use presets, I decided to make my own bundle of 10 Fairytale presets, which I will link in the description, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use them and also how to import them to Lightroom. Here is a closer look at the presets, which are named Rose Garden, English Cottage, Cream Cake, Antique, Strawberry Macaron, Dreamy, Daisy, Fairy Magic, Wonderland and Chemtrails. If you want to use these presets in Lightroom Mobile, then you need to access the link through this Fairytale Presets DNG PDF, which will take you to a Google Drive folder. You'll then need to save all of these DNG images to your files. After you have saved these, then tap on the first image and then press the button in the bottom left corner. Scroll through your apps until you reach Lightroom, tap on the logo and then press Launch Lightroom Now. This should then import the image for this preset. Then you want to go to the top right corner of Lightroom and press on the three dots, then select Create Preset and type in the preset name. Tap on the tick to save this preset and then repeat this process for all 10 images and you will have your new Fairytale presets. If you plan on using these in Lightroom Desktop, then the process is a whole lot easier. You want to download the Fairytale Presets XMP zip file and unzip by double clicking, which should then create a folder. Then you want to launch Lightroom for desktop, and once this is loaded, you want to head over to the two overlapping circles on the right hand side. Then tap the three buttons next to it and then import presets. Then you want to find your Fairytale Presets XMP folder and select all the files, then tap import. And that's it, they're all uploaded, which is so much easier than mobile, but I do use mobile more. When I created these presets, I intended for them to be used on outdoor, very saturated, very contrasted images. So please be aware that these might not work for all images, and of course extra tweaking is sometimes needed to create the perfect picture, and I wanted to share with you some of my little tips and tricks to play around with an image until you get the perfect one. So I do tend to edit mostly in Lightroom Mobile just because it's easier. I'm always on my phone, and I used to edit each and every picture of mine individually, which took forever, so honestly these presets have done me a huge favor too. And when editing pictures individually, it's really hard to keep consistency, so using these has not only saved me time but helped me keep a consistent airy fairy look to my feed. So here I am trying out all 10 presets, trying to find which one works best on this very shadowed, saturated image. And in the end I settled on Dreamy, which gives the picture the loveliest pastel glow, which is such an upgrade from the original image. So one feature that I tend to use quite frequently in Lightroom is masking. Now you can create masking presets, however I did not include any just because I think masking is only available on the paid version of Lightroom, and I wanted to try and make these presets as accessible as possible. And additionally I tend to only use masking for things like the sky and the grass, which can come up all different colours in pictures, so for better results I would edit these individually. So here I'm using the masking tool to select the sky and I am desaturating it. I only really tend to do this if the sky is looking particularly bright blue, just because I love having a pastel sky in the background. But a lot of the presets desaturate the sky anyway, so it's not necessary, it's just me being extra. Another thing I might desaturate is the grass. Again, it did not need doing here, but I wanted to show you anyway. Here I use the color range tool to just pick up any bright greens and desaturate them ever so slightly just so they're not a bright fluorescent green, because that just does not match my feed. And here is a before and after of a very extensively tweaked picture, and I just love how it came out. Now, some of these presets may appear as quite drastic. You may be like, when you apply it to your picture, this is way too bright. But let me show you how to tone it down. So Fairy Magic, as an example, is very bright and may be blinding at first. So just tap on the little icon next to Fairy Magic and you can play around with the amount until you reach a point you're happy with. Or alternatively, if you do have the masking tool in Lightroom, you can then select the subject in the picture, which in this case is me, and you can play around with the exposure and the contrast and the shadows until you reach a point where you're happy with it. And by using this feature, the background will still stay the same and you will be just a little less bright. But of course, it totally depends what look you're going for. I just wanted to show the option in case you want to tweak your picture a little bit. Now, one of my favorite features on Lightroom is the dehaze feature. Most people would use that to dehaze their images. However, I love the haze, so I wanted to show you how you can either remove the haze or create an even bigger haze depending on what look you're going for. And you can do this by tapping on effects, and you can play around with the texture, clarity and dehaze to either get rid of that haze or to create an even mistier fairy haze depending on what you want. Sometimes my camera does create a haze for me depending on what time of day it is, but sometimes I do add a little bit just to make pictures look more magical. Those are all my little tips and tricks and my secrets to creating a magical fairy feed. I just wanted to give a little bit of background on how to play around with them, just because my editing is quite drastic and the way I shoot pictures is very specific. I always shoot in the sunlight, outdoors, on bright blue sunny days, so just be aware that if you do use these presets in different settings, they may not work quite the same. And I do intend on making some indoor ones depending on how these do, and I have been asked how I edit my YouTube videos, so maybe I will try to create a preset for that too, just because again I'm editing them individually at the moment, which takes forever. If you do decide to try out these presets and post any of them on Instagram, please tag me and or use the hashtag Fairytale Presets so I can keep an eye on it and see how your beautiful pictures come out. I'd love to see people using these. If you have any questions or problems or you need help with something, please feel free to leave a comment or DM me on Instagram and I will do my best to help you out. I did get a comment saying that I was gatekeeping the filter. I am not gatekeeping. I just wanted to be sure that when I put the presets out, I was 100% happy with them, and I wanted to be able to provide a little tutorial too, because I wanted to show how you can personalize the presets and make them for you. And also, not everybody has used Lightroom before, and it is quite overwhelming. When I first downloaded Lightroom, I stayed well away from it until I got my first presets, and they helped so much. I learned so much from them. So I wanted to be sure that this was accessible for people who have never used Lightroom before as well. So in conclusion, I'm not gatekeeping. I was never gatekeeping. I just wanted to make sure I was putting out the best I could and also giving you the resources to be able to play around and really make these presets your own. I really hope you like them, and if you do decide to try them, I cannot wait to see your results. Again, feel free to message me if you have any problems or questions. I am happy to help. I feel like it's not a buttercup video if I don't show you at least one dress, so here is a tiny little JessaKae princess dress haul. I'll add links to these in the description, which will automatically add a discount code if you decide to buy. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed as much as I enjoyed making the presets, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!